Thanks a lot, and welcome everybody. And I must say, I was listening to Richard's presentation. I hope you took lots of notes down, because the great man is a genius in his marketing. And I can assure you, we've worked hand in hand with Richard, and he does an amazing job. So one of the big things that we want to cover today is making sure you take some action. And I'm going to get you, it's going to be participative. It's not just going to be rambling and so forth. And I'd like to make sure that we do some stuff. So we'll get rid of my screen here for a moment. Let's just go say and have a chat with you. What I'll get you to do is go to the chat box, get comfortable with the chat box, and just type in where you're from. Okay, I know we're in New Zealand. Maybe some of the people in Australia are going to be joining us. We put it out to our social media. So pop in a chat box and tell us where you're from. And that's Palmy, Auckland, Wellington. Lots of people from all over the shot, I'm sure. And Nelson, oh, beautiful neck of the woods. Christchurch, Palmerston North, Sydney, oh, goody gumdrops. We've got some locals, Christchurch, Aussie now, but living in Aussie, living in Auckland, Greymount, okay. Used to go over to New Zealand every month, and we used to do training with all the fitness industry. If some of you would know, some old friends are probably online this morning. For over 30 years, we've been helping businesses grow their businesses all around the world. And one of the things that we pride ourselves on is making sure that we make things easy for our industry, to make sure that we maximize the opportunity to help more people, and we are profitable. So we've got lots of people on today. So before we get rocking and rolling, I want to know who's here. We've got personal trainers, which I think is going to be a lot of people today, but also any managers, owners, and so forth. So type in the chat box if you're a PT, you're a manager, an owner, manager, bit of both, PT, owner, manager. So just type in the chat box so I can see who we're going to be. I can actually make sure that we're on track there. So we've got PT contractor, Snap, terrific. Owner, manager, terrific. Owner, okay. For personal trainer, okay. Personal trainer and PT wanting to transition to online, terrific. Pilates instructor, oh, lovely. City Fitness and Dance Studios, gee, would you be fit, wouldn't you? Owner operator, kids yoga, lovely. All right. Now I've got a good understanding. I can tailor it accordingly. Now, please, I'm going to keep getting you to do lots of stuff. I'm going to give you a gift as well throughout the training, because I want to give you some stuff, because we're going to cover a lot of content. When I was talking to Richard, he was saying, well, we want to make sure that we maximize the opportunity that we have right now. And we're coming out of COVID, and some people are getting back into training, but some people aren't. We need to give you some skill sets and some ideas to move forward. But it's only an hour and a half, and I'll try and squeeze as much as I can. But I'm going to give you some other guides. I'm going to give you a ebook sales guide. It's all for free. I've got an app I'll give you too, and there's a free app that gives lots of video training as well. And at the end, I'll also, because I want you to write down some things you want to implement. Now, guys, before I get started, I want you to have a pen or your iPad and start writing some notes down, because if you don't write it down, it'll disappear. I know you can go back and we can watch it again, but how many people actually do that? Okay, so I want you to write stuff down, and I want you to start thinking of an action plan that you're going to put into place. And if you I'm going to give you a free gift at the end. I'm going to do just a little bit of coaching with you if you'd like that, completely for free, because you are part of our network. We're partners with Exercise New Zealand and with Richard. We're very proud of that. So we're here to help. So I want to be able to give you some things to do. All right, so are we all ready to rock and roll? We've got a good, getting about 20, 23, 24 people on this morning. Hopefully more jump on. Okay, I want to make sure that we've got an agreement that you'll participate at 100%. Just type in a Y or a yes in the chat box before I get into my screen. I just want to make sure we're ready to rock and roll, because I don't have a great deal of time with you. But please grab the gifts, download it. I'll give you the URLs. We're good to go. I really want to make sure we nail this and give you massive amounts of value. All right. Now, some things you'll know, but remember, the enemy of learning is knowing. I want you to take off our know hat and think outside the bubble. All right. We've got lots of yes, got it, ready to rock and roll. Okay, let's do the damage. All right, here we go. Okay, I bet you got some great stuff from Richard. And lead generation is something that I hear people talk about all the time. And if you do it well, the concentration is not on more leads, it's actually a conversion. Conversion is the key. Write that down. Conversion is the key. If we get the leads, we don't have to get more and more leads. I had businesses that say, I want more leads. Well, hang on a tick. What's your close rate? What's your show rate? How many trials are you having and how many are buying? And sometimes we have a problem here. So what I want to do is help rebuild your PT or fitness business. And I want to do it quickly today. Hour and a half. I'll do my best, but I'm going to give you some stuff away. So make sure you go to the chat box and you get the URLs. Okay. A lot of people get stalled. And while we were in lockdown, where some people rebooted and got ready to rock and roll, some people got out into the marketplace and thought it would be the same. Guys, it's not the same. I'm going to give you some simple things you can do today. Today, not tomorrow, not next week. You could do it today if you chose to do it, and they will work. I promise you something. If you do it, it will work. Okay? Now, I want to streamline your sales process and I want to upgrade your conversion models. But I need to make sure that we look at things a little bit differently because things have changed. For the last 2 to 3 years, it's been significant. The change has gone from doing something that we've done, we modify things a bit, but gee whiz, over the last 2 to 3 years, it's dramatically changed. And most people don't change their sales methodology, their sales cycle, their conversion model for quite a considerable amount of time. They just keep doing what they've always done. But all of a sudden they say, well, hang on a tick, we're getting less opportunity. There's more competition. Well, if you're not doing things differently, why would you increase your conversion? Because things change. The consumer changes. And what we need to do is understand that we have to streamline your process, and we need to get the skills out. And I want you to write this down. Please write this down. You have to have a one chance mentality. You get a phone call, you got one chance to engage that person to make sure that they come and see you. You go and see them, you do a Zoom, you've got one chance. So it's no longer shooting from the hip on the telephone. It's no longer shooting from the hip on your Zoom. It's no longer just being a nice person when you're talking to them in a cafe. I'm going to suggest that everyone's a nice person. But what I want to do is to make sure that we empower people to say, I want a little bit of you. We've got to change our offering. What we've always done is never going to get what we've always got because it evolves. I'll say that again. If we keep doing what we've always done, we're not always going to get what we've always got. One shot only, you're spot on the money. Because at the end of the day, if we always keep doing things like we did before COVID, I always did this, but it's not working now. There's not enough people. We haven't got enough leads. Well, hang on a tick. Do a really good conversion with the lead you got and then start getting more leads. Richard would have shared with you some great stuff that you can do for free and maybe just a few bucks a week on Facebook. He's actually a guru in this area. But if you're not going to convert, well, it's a waste of time. So the essence I want to make sure we follow today, and I'm going to go through quite quickly. So please write stuff down. I want to make sure that we do it right the first time, and that reduces your follow-up. And how many of you guys like follow-up? I bet you no one writes in there, yes, I love follow-up. You'd like a person to get started. And I'll just tell you this. We have a product which is an immediate product. Yeah. They shouldn't have to think about having a personal trainer. They shouldn't have to think about starting to work out in your club, in your yoga studio. They shouldn't have to think about it. They should engage you. They trust you. They want you. You are significantly different and you cared. Now, we're only spending 30, 40, 50 bucks. I mean, goodness gracious, we go to the pub and after one round of drinks, we're out of 30, 40 bucks. My goodness. But gee whiz, we have a person actually saying they don't want to spend that for a week. They don't want to spend that for a session with a trainer or 50 bucks or whatever the case may be. I wonder. Are we talking too quickly? Are we just presenting a product and not the feeling? This is what happens. Now I'm going to take you through this today. Now, before we get rocking and rolling, If you've got your phone, get out that little Q code. I think it's pretty nifty. There's a little Q code here. This gives you our free app. Now, I've got stacks of videos here because, as I said, I'm going to go through quite quickly, tons of sales guides, tons of free videos. Get on the Q code and make sure that you have download our app. The app is it's completely for free, and I'll put the URLs in the chat box. If you want to just click it, you can just go for Android or an iPhone. You can use that. So it's a freebie there, so it's actually in there. All right. Now you've got the freebie. I want you to write these things down. You need to have a minimum of 2 of these things to increase your sales. A minimum. You can have all 5 of them, but you've got to make sure that you're able to show people how you'll save them time. Now you say, "My goodness, they will have to spend more time training with me." No, if you train them properly, they don't have to train for copious amounts of periods of time. Do it right the first time. They don't have to keep continually training for thousands and thousands of hours. If you're a great trainer, you'll be able to give them the nutrition and so forth. If the club is actually a place they can get recreation, but save time is one thing. Make money. Well, some people need to be fit and strong to go to work. Reduce costs. Now, isn't it interesting? People say, "Oh, well, look, your personal training will cost me more money." No, it doesn't. You don't have to go, you can actually have your trainer and you don't have to do a ton of other things because you've got a good one. You've got to make sure that you show them how to save money on their food, for instance. How can you reduce their cost? Now, the big 2 for us in the fitness industry is reduce stress and worry about how I feel about myself, how about my performance, my injury. If I'm going to make first grade, I'm going to get dropped to reserve grade, or just fit into my clothes. Everyone's a little different, but they're worried. They come to you with hope. That's the big thing that comes. People don't want to join your club. They don't want a personal trainer. They come with a feeling of desperation. And we have to understand we don't sell memberships. We don't sell sessions. We sell the feeling having the session and the result that feeling will give them. Now, if they get a result, there'll be a feeling. They'll stop feeling something and start feeling something. That's what they want. They don't want the session. But we sell them a session. Now, in another training, we'll talk about red and green brain. I'm sure many of you that have trained with me in the past have gone to the red brain where no decisions are made, and green brain is where all the decisions are made, whether it's right or yes or no. And the big one is I'm not alone. Show that you care. Do some things that are above and beyond. There's a care factor with training and clubs these days that needs to be. We call it surprise and delight. Now, we'll cover that a little bit later because I want to make sure that you are perceived as an expert. Gone are the days of being a personal trainer. Gone are the days of having just a nice club. They want to go to places where they have perception that their people that they're talking to isn't just a sales lady or a salesman. It's someone that knows their stuff. Now, you might not know all of your stuff, but you can have a thing called a teach sheet, which you can read them. And you could have trainers that can do stuff. And if you're a trainer, you're going to be the expert. But you have to prove, and you've got to teach them stuff that they don't know. So they don't buy because it's too expensive. They buy because of low value. Now, the only way to create value in personal training and health clubs and so forth is, sure, they might have some wonderful equipment and so forth. But the value is, do I have the degree of certainty, or you've gratified my hope enough for me to say, "Oh, I trust this place. I think I will get slimmer, stronger, bigger. I like that person. This seems like a friendly place." They buy that. Sure, they'll give you $30, $50, $60, $80 a week or a session or whatever it may be. But the money is insignificant. Think about it. If you were going to a doctor, would you want the cheapest doctor or the one that will get you better? Or maybe you would get the cheap one for yourself. But what about your daughter or your son or your mum or your sister? Money is not an object if you know there's a degree of certainty, or at least there's a care factor. It's low value. Now, the way to fix this is to make sure, and I want to make sure, I'm going to ask you something here, and I want you to engage with me here. I would like you to tell me how many unique selling points do you have in your business where you can say, we are the only, we're the first, we're the largest, we're the smallest, where you have a definitive of a feature. Now remember, that's red brain, but we have to have features. Now it is absolutely critical in this day and age, especially coming out of COVID and making sure we go to market, that you need to have something that's unique, that you can say you specialize in, but you are the only or the first, or you have something that you created, the ABC system, or the 1, 2, 3 weight loss program. You don't just have a weight loss program. You need to brand it your brand. So I want you to type in the chat box, how many things do you have that you can say, I'm the only, I'm the fastest, I'm the slowest, I'm the biggest, I'm the smallest. I have the only 1, 2, 3 system. I have the first XYZ weight loss process. Now I want you to type in the chat box how many USPs you have. If you're great, but most people usually have anywhere between none to 5. So okay, you got 5, not sure. Define USP. Good. USP is something that you do, or you can say that you are the only in your demographic. I'm the only. I'm the first trainer. I'm the first trainer that does over 40s, or post. I'm the only lady that does personal training at 45 that does postnatal training. You're the first. You need to have those processes too. Okay. 6, terrific. Now, for those of you that have these, you must make sure that when you are presenting your product and or service, you must say, no, I have a weight loss program, I'll have this. You need to say, we are the only, I am the only, we are the only, we were the first, we are the largest, we're the smallest. And make sure you differentiate. And by the way, write this down. Please write it down. Write this down. When you talk about the USP, the thing, the feature, it must fix a problem. Fix the big problems, get the big bucks. So when you talk about your service, try to make sure, oh, by the way, we're the only or the first or the largest. And always write this down. Please write this down. And the benefit to you is no more problem, whatever that problem is. A USP, a feature, a service is a thing that you do that you can say you're the only, you're the first that fixes a problem. So they can't go anywhere else for it. So it's no good poo-pooing your competition. And price wars will never have any winners. So a USP has to be used in your marketing and in your sales. Now, we could spend all day on USPing, but if you don't use your USPs, you're going to be behind the 8 ball. I could teach you tons of stuff today, but if you haven't got something that's unique, and if you haven't got it, time to create them. And the way to do that, let me just give you a heads up here. The way to do this is to brand it. Now, you might not be the only person that does postnatal training, but you're the only person that has the ABC system. So you just brand it, or the 1, 2, 3 process, and you brand it. It could be fit to go weight loss program. And then you just brand it. Now, no one else has it. Now, then the benefit to you is you'll lose the weight. So I'm overweight, or I'm too thin. Oh, you might not know this. You need to have A, B, and C. Our program is incorporated with the 1, 2, 3 nutrition program, and 50% of, at least 50% of your building is going to become down to what you put in your mouth and how well you sleep. We've got the 1, 2, 3 nutrition and wellness program to make sure that you're not small anymore and you bulk up. How good's that? The consequence is that you have the USP that fixes the problem. Now, a lot of people say they got it, but let me promise you, I work with clubs all around the world and personal trainers all around the world. And when they tell me they have them, they don't use them. Now, if you want to increase your value, you must use them. You must. And if you want to use them, you've got to practice using it. I'll give you some skills along the way today. Now, I can't spend all day on it, but I want to make sure we nail it this. You need to have a plan now. The next part is you have to have a plan. A plan is essential because ultimately we need to know how many clients you want to have to make the money that's required to create profit. Now, I know you do it because you love helping people. I get it, but let's talk business here. I know we've got some owners and managers of personal training studios today, health clubs, whether it's membership, whether it's personal training, whether it's secondary spend, we need to know the number. If we don't have a target, we're never going to reach it. Gone are the days of just winging it. We need to know what the returns are, and you need to get if you don't like numbers, and I know a lot of fitness people don't, you get an accountant to do this. So you have a quarter. In Australia, we've just started the first quarter. I know in New Zealand, you start your quarter in March. But how many sales do you need? You want to have 40 clients? This is a startup business. And then we're going to say, well, how many sales are we going to make? We want to make sure, okay, I've got to make this many sales. I want 40 clients. Well, I'm going to lose some clients. So how many sales do I need to make sure that I get my 40? Off we go. You need to be measuring this on a monthly and a weekly basis. You need to know the number of sales or clients you require. And sometimes it might just be hours. And we'll show you how to maximize your yield, but you have to have a number. Because if you don't have the number, you'll never reach it. So some people say, I got the number. I said, all right, well, what you talk about most becomes important. So hopefully you're talking about it every day and say, where can I get more leads? Richard would have given you some great ways to do that, at least 3 or 4 things. And if you haven't got that number that you've got to do every week or month of new sales, taking in the amount of money you want to return to make sure you can pay the rent, feed the kids, do the things that are important to you, run your company. You need to have the numbers. Now, I'm not going to bore you with some KPIs here, but this is a little e-guide. This is very easy to use. Let me just, I'll just get this up for you. This is a guide that you can use. It's got 7 questions that will actually make you a ton of money. Now, as I said, I'm just going to pop it in the chat box. Download it, it's free. It'll give you some ideas of some of the questions that you need to have a plan. All right. So I said, I'll just give us as much of your stuff away for nothing. Make sure you just download it, just push the buttons or put it in the chat box if you want to grab it. Okay. Now, let's go to the next stanza. How to increase your revenue now? Type in the chat box. Would you like to increase your money straight away? Yes or no? It's very simple. If you'd like to increase your revenue, the income that you're getting, it's a yes or no response. I just want to know. Yes or no? It's a yes. If it's no, I get it. You're making too much dough. I'll need to talk to you. You'll probably help me. Yes. Terrific. All right. I will show you something now. Now, you've got to do this. If you do this, you will make more money. Okay? It's guaranteed. Yeah, that's pretty good. Guarantee. Okay. Only got a few of you. We've got nearly 30 plus people on there. Only got about 6 or 7 yeses. Are you serious? You don't want to make more money? Come on, guys. You want to make more money? Let me hold my breath. Okay. Got a double yes there by a few of you. Good on you. All right. Now, it's not all about the money. I get it, guys. I know you do this for the passion of helping people, but you also love health and fitness, but we have to get a return, and it's tough when we don't. Okay. Here's something you need to get very, very clear, and you can do it today. When using numbers, now when you present your numbers, you have 70 bucks, 60 bucks, 50 bucks, 80 bucks. I see these numbers, 20 bucks, $100. This is so easy. Never use a 0 in a 2-digit number. I'd suggest you never use a 0, period. Never use a 0 in a 2-digit number. So if you have 40 bucks, make it 45. You will not lose a sale. You will not lose a client. You might want to keep the other guys at $40 or $70 or whatever it may be. But if you put a 5 or a 9 and just substitute all your zeros, because when you've got a 0, you got no money. 0 means nothing. So if you're going to go to 60, you may as well have 62 or 65 or 67, 69. You You're not going to lose the sale. But if you have a zero, you get nothing. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah. It's not a trick, it's maths. Okay. If any of you have a zero in your numbers today, I want you to change them tomorrow or today. So when you present your products, now, if you've got $100, well, make it $115 or even 110, at least get one of those zeros out of there. Yeah. Not 120 bucks, 125 bucks. You're not going to lose the sale for $5. If you're selling it at $70, well, if you're going to go to 70, great. If you want to put it down to 69, okay, you lose a buck. But if you pop it up to 72, 75, 79, you're not going to lose the sale. I guarantee you. I've had many clubs of my own. I've consulted to thousands of businesses globally. This works 100% of the time. Let me show you. I can't just tell you, I've got to show you. Want me to show you? Here it is. This is called scenarios. This will blow your socks off. Now, I'm not saying that this is your numbers, but I'm just going to say, let's talk about scenarios. And I just want to give you proof. A 1-hour session at $80. Okay, train your clients twice a week. That's $160 yield. Pretty easy, huh? Let's say you're going to work 40 training hours. Now, I know you guys work very long hours. You might do 20 hours, but I'm just going to do 40 for today. Okay? Training hours, that's training where you get paid, not while you're having a coffee down the road. That means if you've got 20 clients training twice a week, that's 160 per week. That's $3,200 per week. I'm sure you understand that. On a monthly basis, that's just under $14,000. Now, if you work for 10 months of the year, have 1 month off for holidays and 1 month to be sick, that's going to give you nearly 140K. You might say, oh, that's terrific. Is it? Is it? I will put a different scenario together. Let's say we have a 1-hour session and we put it up to 85. Well, I'll just go back. 80. 85. Watch. 80. 85. Just acknowledge that you're seeing this. So you see the difference. Can you see the 5 and the 0 changing? Just type in the chat box. Yes, I know we're on track. We can see that in there, out there. Okay, good. Now look at the difference. Look at the difference. Look at the difference here. This is quite profound. And by the way, we're not saying work longer hours. We're not saying work longer hours. We're saying do exactly the same thing, and let's have a 1-hour session. I'll show you other sessions, but this is just a scenario. Same amount of clients, $170. All of a sudden, we've gone from $138,000 with not another skerrick of work, and we've just gone up to nearly 150K. So you now got a difference of nearly $9,000 by just changing the 5. The 0 to a 5. Now, would you like another $8,000? I think the answer would be yes. It's a no-brainer. Now, most people would be satisfied with that. Let me show you another way. Would you like to see another way? Make you more dough without doing too much, any more hours? Yes or no? Give me a yes or a yes. Okay. Oh, by the way, I hope you're going to do this. Because every person that I've done this, whether it's a health club, whether it's all of them, I can promise you, you've made more cash. So I don't want you to work harder. I want you to work smarter. Here it is. This is scenario 2. Now what's changing? Now, if you had an $80 an hour, you wouldn't do half an hour for $40. You always work at a half to a 2/3 ratio. It's half to 2/3 ratio. Okay? Half to 2/3 ratio. So in other words, if I do half the time, I charge 2/3 for it. That's $60. Now $60 at $60, we got 40 hours. That's 80 clients. Now it's better to have 80 clients paying half-hour sessions because they'll stay longer. Oh yes, they do. They're paying less and they'll train longer. However, that's now going to, if you're still working 40 hours a week, no extra time, instantly that goes up to nearly $5,000. Income is now nearly $21,000 and you've gone up to 200K. Now, some people say, I do 3/4 hours. Okay, this is a scenario. Now, let me show you the big rock. Let's change that 60 to 65. Here we go. It's gone to 5,200, 22K, so it's now 225K. Now let's look at the difference. We got 200 to 225,000. So that's another $25,000 in your pocket. We're just changing to half-hour sessions and $5. Same amount of time. No brainer. No brainer. So, what would you prefer? 225 or 147? Well, you probably say, I'd be happy with 147. Terrific. Keep it the same. But that's 78,000 bucks in your kick. Oh, yes. That's just one-on-one personal training. I'm going to show you ways to actually increase that by at least another maybe $5 to $10 to $20, $30,000. Doing only a few extra hours. So this is what I want to show you. So how many of you are going to change your numbers to at least change it to a 5 or a 9? And by the way, going from a 5 to a 9, you'll never get any pushback. You can even put a price up. But if you're just going to change for your new clients, who's going to just how many people are going to change that price and maybe even change their 1 hour to a half hour and 3/4 an hour to half an hour? Okay, you might say you want to give more value, but you charge 2/3 to half. Who's going to do that? You can do that straight away. Good. All right, with your new clients, terrific. You want to tell your existing clients that if they want to commit for another 6 months, you'll keep it at the same rate. And then you'll continue thereafter because you've shown in good faith, because you're putting your prices up. Boom. Get them on a DD. Lock them in for 6 months. Guarantee your return. All right. Next thing is, one of the things that personal trainers and a lot of health clubs do very, very poorly is focus on their primary objective. So a lot of core product or one-on-one personal training. What core product are the memberships of a health club or their personal training if they're a personal training studio, obviously. Let me just give you something that's a little bit outside the box here. If people spend more, they stay longer. I'll say that again. If they spend more, they'll stay longer. Why? Because they'll value it. They don't want to be spending money that they don't actually get value for. So you're just going to give on track. Now, it's really critical here. You get this. A primary spend is membership or your personal training. Your secondary and tertiary spend must be a primary objective now. No longer just your primary spend. Let me give you a prediction which has come true already. The secondary and tertiary spend will become more lucrative in the next 6, 12, 24 months, and it will be more important than your primary spend. Your primary spend, in other words, your membership and or your personal training, will be like a lost leader, a way to sell them something else. There's going to be a lot of stuff that equipment you can be doing in-house, a lot of online stuff, which I'll talk about briefly today, a lot of stuff you can do. So I really want to make sure that we're on the right page here. So let's keep going. Now, what's a secondary spend? A secondary spend is some people that what they buy once they're a personal trainer. And let me just give you a little bit of a heads up. It'll increase your unique selling points. In other words, if you don't have a lot of USPs, this will, if you get something else that people can buy, an extra service that you can give them, or they could buy a product from you and you're the only person that does it, gives you a USP. It makes your primary sale easier. And more importantly, in a competitive marketplace, if you have other things that you can give them, services you can actually give them, you might even partner with somebody, you become the personal trainer or the business or the health club or the studio of preference. People will talk about it more. Something you can be proud of, and more importantly, your clients will tell their friends, and they refer more readily. It's easy to reactivate people. If you add a secondary and tertiary spend, you go back to old clients and say, hey, we've got something new. And if you've got another service like massage, or you might do nutrition advice, you could say, hey, we used to be a personal training client, but now I do nutrition coaching, or now I actually have massage, or now I do martial arts. I have a martial arts partner. And you can reactivate old clients. Makes it easier to close, makes it retain your primary spend. If they can always buy secondary and tertiary spend, and they'll say, hey, I want to stop the secondary and tertiary, that means they're not going to stop working with you. That means they just stay at the standard. And as I said, it means that people stay longer. So you might have, these are some examples. Now, I'm not suggesting you do this. I'm just suggesting these are some things that you can do. You can do nutrition coaching. The investment is the same. So if you have half an hour, 15 minutes of time for your nutrition coaching, and person is not personal training with you, you'll charge them the same rate. It's exactly the same. There are lots of secondary spends. Now, you could have supplements, and a lot of supplements now will do them on consignment. You can just have a link that you send to your clients, and then they buy it and you get an affiliate. Most places have that now. And some of them is just recurring. You might have a weight loss program or a weight loss challenge, and people will pay for that. They could actually opt in for that. Now, you might say you've got it, but do you charge for it? Now, there are lots of things. Now, a lot of people like to have a demographic, an avatar. You could go out there and say, have a woman's only weight loss program. Yeah. And guess what? You can have a gut busters weight loss program for fellas. Yeah, it's slightly different. As you know, it's different mindset, different activity. This is on top of your training, or even in your health club or your studio. People could come in that's not part of this. Now, these are just ideas. I'm sure you've had them in the past. Now, here's an example of some of the, Jamie, who actually has DietFlex. Now, just give an example of how that works. Here's a USP called the ICT system. This is very cheap to actually get it as well. It's not expensive. I think it's $500 for the training. The weight loss, you just have personal training. It's for a membership. They add another $35 per week. That's a secondary spend. For a personal trainer, you'd add it to your cost as well. Now, they charge $35 or $25 to $35 for 15 minutes for a consultation. Plus, it comes with supplementation. Now, you might not like supplementation, but this is actually proven to be very, very effective, and it's actually in New Zealand. It could be a USP. All of a sudden, your fee changes from your 30 minutes to $85, from 55 to 85, from 75 to 105, with only extra 15 minutes, utilizing your secondary spend. Profit from the protein stuff is 50% markup. So people are buying that stuff, all good. Now, you might say, oh, it's not my ticket item. Group personal training has become, people are starting to get it now. Having groups and so forth, and having people paying a little less working in a group can work. Yeah, there are some studios where people come and pay a lot more to have their group personal training, as you would know. Now, group PT, easy. I'm going to show you how to use that in a moment. Over 60s program. The largest demographic that's starting to exercise globally is the over 60s. But how many personal trainers are target marketing that? Do you have a program just for over 60? I mean, I'm 61. Ideas. Now, you might have boxing, or you might have group boxing. You might have where the clients can actually have the mittens, so you don't have to do it all yourself. Now, these are just ideas. Now, how do we work secondary spend? Let me give you the heads up on this. And I by the way, guys, and let me just make sure we're really clear here. I strongly recommend you having at least 1 or 2 or 3 things that give you peripheral income other than your primary source of income. I'll say that again. I strongly recommend, moving into the new way of doing business, that you have a secondary or tertiary, other things that they can buy or services you can actually give them. That doesn't have to have you doing a lot of extra time, but it will give you a high return. I would recommend you have a minimum of 2. Yeah. If you have a membership in a club, then you need to have 2 peripherals. You might say, one's personal training. Sure, have another one. If you have personal training, you need to have peripherals on it. Now, if it's yoga studios, Pilates, same thing, same thing. You might have some peripherals or a little bit of retail and so forth. That's not going to make you a significant amount of money. I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay, rock and roll. Here we go. Okay, before we go any further, useful so far. Is it useful so far? Is the yes boo's good? No's, I'll actually change tact. You give me is useful so far. I want to make sure we're going to help you make some more cash, guys. I'm going to show you how to close a little bit later. I'm up to 40 minutes already, so I've got to rock and roll, but I just want to make sure that we are on track and you're writing stuff down. Are you writing stuff down? Have an action plan of what you're going to do. Okay? Get your USPs, all good. Don't want to sit there passively, have a sip of cup of coffee, just type in Y if you don't want to do ES. All right? All good. 2 pages already. You're a legend, Lauren. Well done. Thank Crystal. Love it. Thank you very much. First pen has run out of ink. And you're a legend, mate. Well done. All right, good. Thanks, Hannah. That's great. And is that Anza? I hope I've said that right. And Tash. Okay, all good. All on track there. Leo, we're on track there. Thanks, my friend. You got a sore hand? No, my hand's all right. Maybe yours is sore. Yeah, that's all right. Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I just want to make sure you take some action, guys. I really want to make sure we can do the damage today. All right, here we go. Now remember, now I need you to tell me you remember this. You remember I showed you the $5 and the 1 hour, $5 and so forth, how we'd make $78,000 more if you just did 40 hours a week. Did you remember that? In the chat box, it's a yes. Keep with me. I'm going to keep you engaged. Do you remember that? If you just came in late, you're going to have to watch it the replay. All right. Did you remember that? Okay. $5, half hour, changing from 1 hour, $5. Got it? You know, get rid of that 1 hour and go to half hours and give them another $5. You're going to make another 78K a year without not doing a skerrick more work. Got it. Good. A few of you got it? Come on. We've got 30 plus people on. Stay with me, guys. Stay with me. Good. Thanks, Christopher, Scotty. Well done, Lauren. Michelin, my goodness. You're everywhere, Michelin. You're a ledge. Tanya, love it. Thanks, Brandon. Good. And Crystal. All right, we're on track. Now I'm going to show you how to make some more cash. Here we go. If you want to be working a few extra hours, now you'll be about 40 hours. I know most trainers do a lot more. You might want to do less, and I'll show you how to do less. I'll show you how to do less, but let me show you. Let's say you put on some boot camps. You get 10 clients, just charge them $25. $25, not $20, not $10, $25, $29, and you get 10 clients. That's $250 an hour. Now, you say you run 5 a week. That's going to be 5 hours, but that's going to get net you. That's going to give you per month a $5,000. That's just an extra 5 hours. Okay, now let's say you do some group PT. Boot camps are different to PT. Now, just say you did these. You got 10 clients there. Now, they're not personal training clients. They're just clients for the PT or the boot camps. Now, you got 10, another 5K. Okay, so that's 10 extra hours. So you're working 50 hours. All right, for 10 grand, that's pretty nifty. Now, you get a buddy who is a self-defense person. Good. Knows their stuff. Women's self-defense. Or just self-defense. Could be a martial artist. Or could be self-defense. A little bit different. Let's say you get $25 as well. That's very inexpensive. And you get 10 people out there. You split it 50-50. Yeah, they get 50%. You get 50%. So you're using your clients, you're doing the marketing, and you get that. That's going to be $1,000. That's a $500 per month to you. You just do a 4-week program. The same with women. Now that gives you an extra $11,000. Now, if you only work 10 months of the year, that's 110K. Let's just go back a bit. It's 110K. And if you just move your half hour and 5 hours, that's all of a sudden, that's 78. Let's say, make it easy for the maths, $80,000 and 100 and 10K for an extra 10 hours, and you're getting someone else to do some work. Now, you can change the scenarios here. I'm just giving you an example. So that's going to give you 78K plus 110K. That's another $188,000 extra. Okay, let's say you don't want to work as hard. I know, so, oh my God, that's a fair bit of work. Okay, let's say you do nutrition advice. Same, you're charging $65, like your half-hour rate. You get 10 clients just doing nutrition. That's $610, right? One session. It's one extra session. One extra session at your personal training rate. One for 10 clients, that's $650. Then you got supplements. Now it's a 50 to 60% markup with most supplements. Say $500 worth a month. That's not hard. You got a women's weight loss program. Easy peasy. Run 2 per week. That's going to be $500. That's $2,000. Then you got your over 60s program. Again, this is just an hour, 45 minutes. That's going to give you another 51K. I know people that work 51K just with a primary income. Look at the difference. 78K, half hour to half hour, another 51K. Well, I'll just get, it's just a lazy $130,000. That's on top of what you're already getting. Now, let's say you don't want to do too much extra stuff. And let's say you want to have sleep-ins. You don't want to do all that other stuff. Let's say you're going to have a run club. It's $25. You get 10 people. Just do running. Just do run club with you. And you run 1 per month. That's it. That's it. Run club. And what you then do is cycle club, $250 per month. It's very simple. Just go for one session. Then you got a massage session, and all of a sudden, you might have a massage therapist. You might have one extra session charging the same amount. That's another $650. And a spray tan. You might get a spray tanner. I get someone in there, say, oh, I'll get my clients to do spray tanning with you. We'll do a split 50-50 split. That's going to give you 13K. Okay, 78 plus 13, only $91,000. I know it's not 188, but remember, we had our scenarios where we did, half hour, 65, significantly increased our revenues. That's not working a ton of it. I'm just giving you some difference. And you say, oh, I didn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to do those things. Okay, that's fine. But what else can you do? Other services where you can maybe buddy with someone, do a 50-50 split and start working smarter. Make your time, your hour worth more. Your clients could pay less, but more clients will be paying less. And that means if you're doing it in groups, you're going to get more per hour. And then if you get other people to do it, that's another kettle of fish. Now, as I said, I've only got a short period of time today. My job is to show you how things have changed dramatically. And if we start thinking outside the box like I'm showing you today, you're going to find it's going to be easier to sort of kick some goals. Now, you don't have to get 10 initially. You can do 3 or 4. So let's keep going. Let's get into the nitty gritty. Now we've got the ideas here. I need to understand that your demographic, because of COVID, has now changed. We were actually had to be perched in our studio, at our park, at our club, and we had to give service. But because a lot of people have gone online using computer and the little smartphones, there are lots of platforms now are very inexpensive where you can deliver online. But the problem is most people don't know how to sell online. The service is fine, but you've got to understand, to be competitive in the fitness industry now and going into the future, you must, not a good idea, you must get an internet, computer, and you must make sure that you need to have the tools. Now, some of the tools are making sure that if you're going to do some sales, you've got to have some things like this, like these little tools. You've got to have you're going to do some presentation with like a little lapel mic and things like that. So if you're going to be presenting online, you can sell online, but you've got to have everything set up. You can have proper cameras. You know how much this costs? This is not, it looks pretty nifty, but if you go onto a little app called Wish, W-I-S-H. I think it's 26 bucks. They've got all the lighting and everything if you want to do that stuff. Now, you've got to get onto it. If you're not tech orientated, even I can do it. Now, we've actually did a whole program called the Sales Pivot in our Sales Authority Club. We did a hybrid a little while ago. We used to do a lot of in-house training. Now we do a lot of stuff online, and we teach people how to do this. Now, we've actually had people are closing, $800,000, $300,000 deals by just doing it online. It's not significantly different, but there's the tools you need to use. There's some of the tools you need to use. And by the way, it's not hard to learn how to do them, but I can promise you something. You have to evolve. We have to, and especially in our industry. We have to make sure that we're on track. Now, here's another thing I want to share with you. We've got a Facebook group. It's actually a freebie. I do training usually on a Saturday morning, and I go in there and we do videos and live chats. If you'd like to join, it's called the Sales Success Club. Let me see if I can get it up for you. And I'll share the link if you like. Let's see if I can get that up. Here we go. No, I can't. I'll put it in there a little bit later. You go to the Sales Success Club. Let's go back a bit. It's just Sales Success Club. It's a free Facebook group. And you can actually hop in there on a Saturday, and on a Wednesday we do free training. So we can catch up a little bit on there if you'd like. All right. Okay, goody gumdrops. Terrific. Okay, let's keep going. One of the things Richard said, and Richard is iconic. I mean, I've worked with Richard for 2 decades now with his clubs. He had exceptionally successful clubs. Knows his stuff incredibly well. As far as business is concerned, he's second to none. A lot of risk. He is absolutely outstanding. And at the end of the day, I want to make sure we're really clear. Oh, thanks, Richard. Appreciate that, mate. You're a ledge. One of the things that he said, I want to go back to basics for our crew. Now, I've got around about 40 minutes remaining with you. I'm going to do my very best to take you back to some basic things that you might have forgotten, but I believe it's absolutely necessary that you need. All right? Okay, let's stop here for a moment. How many action points do you have? How many action points do you have to take place? How many action points have you got? Just type in the numbers in the chat box. How many action steps? Now, remember, we've got a trusty pen. I know some of you had your pen run out. How many action points are going to take place to resurrect and drive your business and even make it more successful? How many action points? Please type in the chat box a number. 1, 2, 3. Look, I'm sure you've got at least 10 to 15 from Richard, but I'll be a little selfish here. I'll just say for the sales stuff. I mean, you've got a lot to do. Richard gave you some absolute gold. And I'm sure you can be able to get a marketing muscle up with him. I would strongly recommend that you try to get the great man or one of his teams for a marketing muscle up. So how many things you got there? Okay, let's have a Bo People. What you got there, guys? All right, have a look at that. Okay, Michelin, you got 6. You got Peter, you got 5. Good on you. Brandon, you got 3. Terrific. Tanya, got 6. Big focus on USP and branding for Jaden. Okay, Leo, 4. All right, we've got 30 plus people. I only got 7 things here. Come on. 5. All right. Action steps. This means you're going to take place. I mean, you can change your prices in a heartbeat. There could be at least 1. Oh, Christopher, terrific. That's 3. Okay. Crystal is 6. Wow, Ledge. Good on you. Anza, you got 5. That's good. Now we're looking. This is looking good because I've covered over 19 different points so far. So we've really started to take some notes. Good guys. Well done. Well done. All right. I won't waste any more time. I'll just keep going. There's a reason I'm asking you to write these things down. Okay. As I said, I'm going to give you a little present at the end. Okay. Here we go. Isn't it interesting that in this day and age, where we have our little happy phones with us all the time, We've become incredibly lazy when it comes to our telephone activity. I work with, as I said, clubs all around the world, studios, large and small, also individual personal trainers in our sales authority club, where we meet up every week and do training, and they've got all the videos and stuff. And guess what? When they get a phone call, they wing it. And then they say, oh, I haven't got many leads, and then do a dodgy phone call. And they say that the person doesn't show up, or they turn up and they're unqualified. Let me give you the drum here. If you do that, you deserve to have poor result. It is something that's been out there in the marketplace since I've been working with my clubs. And remember, you know, we opened the first health club chain in Australia, and then we went around the world, making sure that we opened impact training global. And let me tell you, this is the either number one or number two thing that most people in the fitness industry or allied health industry do wrong, and it's phone work. It's terrible because they don't have a prompt. Now, this is not a script. This is not a script. It is a prompt. The prompt is structured to be able to create enough rapport to find out what their problem is after you show them you're an expert. So many times someone says, I'm a personal trainer. Yes, I do this. This is my prices. Let's have a trial. Are you serious? We're never going to get a pre-qualified lead. We're never going to find out if they like it, they want to join. We're not qualifying them wrong. Then we give them an hour of our time, or we even make an appointment and they don't even show. And for a club, we get these phone calls. We got someone coming in, they no show, they're unqualified. We do the tour, explanation, demonstration, come back, got to think about it, shop around. They got to think about it for $20, $30 a week. Big problem. But if you have a prompt to get taught how to use it, now the left-hand side is getting your source coding, because look, Richard would have taught you, you've got to find your source coding. How did you find out about us? I spent $5 a week on boosting my Facebook. I'll pay that again. We then need to make sure we find a compelling argument. Then we book them in. Now, whether it's for a health club, whether it's for a studio, whether it doesn't matter. Whether you have it on an iPad or whether it's on a piece of paper, you don't follow it. It's not a script. It just reminds you what to say. And when you do this well, you have a higher show rate. The person is pre-framed to buy. And by the way, on the phone, you talk about your secondary spends. If your personal trainer has a weight loss program, oh, Mary, we can certainly help you lose the weight. I'm the first, I'm the biggest, USP. By the way, we've got the ABC weight loss program where I'll give you this system or this stuff that'll help you get the weight off, more importantly, keep it off. So you pre-frame your secondary spend before they come and see you. So when they turn up, it's not a surprise. But how many times have I heard that not done? Lots. Telephone work is gold. People say people don't use the phone anymore. When you get them on the phone, if it's less, make sure you do a good job. Like I started, we have a one chance mentality. We get them on a Zoom, and people love the Zoom. You've got to look in the camera, and that's another workshop that we'll do another time. Oh, by the way, I've got it in my head. We're going to be doing regular webinars for Exercise New Zealand. Yeah, it's going to be starting in August. We're going to give you some free training as well. So Nathan and the crew will tell you all about that a little bit later. Anyway, digressed. Telephone activity. Absolutely, you got to pre-frame your secondary spend. Get them ready and ask them, if you come in for a trial, if you come down, how serious about getting started to lose the weight so you're feeling comfortable for your holiday. Never sell them the program. Never talk about membership. Why do they want the membership? I want to lose weight. Why do you want to lose the weight? Because I'm going on holiday. Okay, so why don't you just go like you are now? Oh, I'd be embarrassed. Okay, so let's make sure we have a great holiday so you feel proud. Are you looking forward to the holiday? Yeah. Easy. People say, come on and I'll show you around the club. Let me just give you another heads up. Never say, I'm just going to talk to you about your training. Never say, I'll show you the club. They're not buying the club. They're not buying the studio. They're not buying anything other than the feeling that they haven't got. They don't buy. membership. They buy a feeling. So let's show you how to do that. Easy peasy. Starts on the phone. Don't do good phone, you're gone. So you got to be proactive. Here's a little thing you can do tomorrow. Please do it tomorrow. This is easy. This is so easy. And it's just called a sincere compliment. You can do it today. It's Saturday. I'm sure you're having a cup of tea. You're ready to rock and roll. Find somebody and give them a sincere compliment. It might be your mum, it might be a sister, but it could be random. It could be a friend you go out for lunch with. But look for something that you can give them a sincere compliment. Engage with a smile. It makes you feel good, make them feel good, and it creates opportunities. You know, if you have a smile and you actually say, hey, with someone that you've just met or whatever, and you give them a sincere compliment, it's a sincere one, it lowers a barrier, the person feels good, and they will engage with you. Try it. I'll give you an example. The other day I was coming out at Wynyard Station, which is in Sydney. Not the other day, but a few months ago now, gee whiz, before COVID. Anyway, 12 weeks. And I was just going through the station. And I just walked past this person, and the person just smiled and said, oh, nice tie, mate. That looks great. I went, what? And it was a new tie. I went, well, thanks. He didn't have to say that. He just kept walking. Yeah, nice tie, mate. Great colors. And all of us, you know what? That made me feel good. That was out of the blue. And I went, wow, that's that sincere compliment thing. That was really nice. So, here's a challenge. Do 3 today. Do 3 today. See what happens. A sincere compliment. There's this method to my madness. Now, if you've got the sincere compliment, this opens a dialogue, and I'm going to show you a process that will create an opportunity to give you, and by the way, I could teach you a pitch, but I'd need half an hour and I'd have to finish. So I'm going to show you a thing called the hello strategy. Write this down. This is gold. Take a photo, whatever it may be. If you want to make more sales, you've got to say hello to more people. You've got to say hello to more people on the phone, on the Zoom, on Messenger. You've got to say hi. Hello. Hello. Hi. Smile. Lovely. Nice shoes. Hi. Eye contact. Smile. How's your day been? You meet somebody. Oh, terrific. Where are you going? You're sitting at the tuck shop or whatever, getting a sandwich. Oh, g'day, mate. How you going? How's your day been going? Oh, it's terrific. And they'll say, not bad, or all the stuff. Oh, it's been a crap day or whatever. You usually say, okay. They'll usually say, oh, and how are you going? I want you now this is so easy. I want you then to tell them of how excited you are because of a result of one of your clients or one of your members. How good's this? So eye contact, hello, give them a sincere compliment. Oh, love your shoes, whatever. They'll say, how's your day been? Oh, pretty good. Yeah, how's yours? You've now, and people just say, not bad, okay. And you've lost an opportunity. Now watch. This is easy. Someone says, hello, good day, how you going? Oh, love your shoes, great suit, whatever. Oh, what's the coffee like? Just engage. They say, how's your day been? And give them eye contact. How's your day been? Nod your head when you say it. Don't say, how's your day been? Say, how's your day been? Hand out. How's your day been? How's your day been? They'll go, not bad, which is usually a negative introduction. So that person thinks negatively, but let's not go into the neural order here. How's your day been? Oh, pretty good. And they'll say, how's yours? That's usual. Then I want to say, it's been terrific. You know, just last week, I had 2 of my clients had sensational results. I mean, they've lost so much weight, and one of them's actually running in a triathlon, and another one, he's actually he's lost a number of kilos and fits into a suit for his wedding. It's been awesome. It's just been great. I just love it when my clients get such great results, and they go, "Wow, how'd you do that?" You'd be surprised how many opportunities you're going to have to brag about your clients, not about you, about your clients. I've had a great week. We had just a terrific week. We had a couple of our members do A, B, and C. You know, a couple of persons couldn't even move. Now they're actually, walking a lot better now. And one of the guys actually has looks incredible. He's done some strength training, built up a bit, had glandular fever, was really thin. So, well, what do you do? Opportunity. How many people could you say hello to on a day and say, hello, how's your day? And they go, pretty good. How's yours? Whoom. And you could do a little bit of a brag about your clients. How many could you do? Could you do 3 over the weekend? How's that for a challenge? Could you do 3? Could you do 3? Yes or no in the chat box? This is easy peasy. Could you do 3? Just say hello, hey day, and then do a little brag about your clients. Could you do 3? Easy. Yeah. Yes. You could do 3. Who's going to be cheeky and do 4? I mean, you reckon you could? Sure. You could do 3. Anyone going to do 4? So I'm sure someone says do 3. I'll do 6. So especially if it's easy. Good on you, Leo. Well done, Lauren. Michelin, you're a ledge. Brandon. Good. All right. Got some doers here. Good to see. Doers actually get things done. Yeah. Good. A couple. All right. See what happens. But brag with passion and enthusiasm about with your people. And you'll find that usually if you did 3, you're going to get 1 to 2 and say, what do you do? Then you got to get your pitch sorted. This is lead gen at a 101 level. How much would that cost you? Nothing. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, next thing is you've got to look at leads and you've got to get belly to belly. The next one is I recommend if you've got clients, if you're on a health club, this is a strategy that's worked 100% of the time. 100%. Is once a month you do a thing called a shopping tour. You take people to the shopping center and you teach them about labels and things that are superfoods. Obviously, you're going to know what you're talking about. But you then do it once a month. You just go down meet at the supermarket, goes for an hour. They can do their shopping. You can teach them about some stuff. And it's really valuable, especially if you really know what you're talking about. We've been doing some stuff with Jamie in our Sales Authority Club for our members. And he's been teaching us about the protein components and the carbs and what not to eat and when to eat and how certain things work. And it's been really interesting. And I know some of our clubs and our trainers are now doing once a month visits to the shops. Yeah. Talk about superfoods, tell them about some stuff, give some handouts for their members, for their clients. And guess what? You do it for your clients and members, added value. Yeah. I bet you, but there's not a lot that do it in your neck of the woods. And then you're going to say, hey, why don't you bring one of your friends that you live with? Why don't you bring your wife, your husband, your partner? And then all of a sudden they're going shopping with you and all learning the good stuff and say, for coming shopping with me, guess what? I'm going to give you a mini membership, I'm going to give you a pass, not a free pass. I'm going to give you a mini membership. 2 days, 3 days, 2 workouts and a nutrition session. And I'm just curious, if I give that to you, ask the question, if I give you that, would you think you might want to continue with your health? They might say no, but they might say yes. No skin off your nose, they're still turning up. Once a month, shopping. This is just very 101 lead gen. By the way, going shopping, making sure there's some nutritional advice is the new vogue. Yeah. You can do some programs that are very, very good that make you a nutrition coach. And you can charge the same as for personal training for the sessions accordingly. Anyway, enough on that. I've got another 25 minutes to go, then we're good to go. Conversion now. I've talked about your fees. I've talked about how to make sure that we are making sure that we get up the ante, get a secondary spend, pre-frame on the phone. Now we've just gone through a little bit of, hey, how can we engage with somebody to get a few extra clients? And I would have a number that I would do. If I was to do the hello strategy in my world, I would do 5 a day. And that means you're going to say hello to 25 people a week. Yeah, and you're going to do a little brag session about your people. You're going to put your prices to $5. You then do your half hour. Okay. I'm going to give you a little gift at the end of today. I'm going to give you a sales growth plan and coaching session myself or Darren or one of our team. And there's going to be stuff that you haven't got time to ask questions today. So we're going to do some session with you. I'm going to give you a URL. You can book it in direct into my calendar if you want me. It'll go for a good hour. We'll just do a full Zoom completely for free. And you can ask me lots of questions and we can tailor some accordingly. So find out where some of you got, because we've only got 90 minutes. So I'm going to give you this at the end. Now, one of the things that has come to, it's become quite evident in recent times is that our needs analysis is becoming verbal. Well, I don't mind whether it's on the computer, whether it's on an iPad, it doesn't matter. But there are processes on a needs analysis. You're a personal trainer, you need to have a personal trainer needs analysis, which is different from a health club or a yoga studio. Now, it comes in sections. This, sometimes, some people take far too long to do it. 6 to 7 minute activity. This is a full one. I'll give you up to 10 max. Now, the same would apply if you're just going to a club, but a club's needs analysis is different from a personal trainer's one. They are not the same. But let me make it very clear to you. As things have evolved, these are essential things you must do. Now, you might have dropped this off. You might have stopped doing it. I'm going to give you the heads up. The most successful clubs and studios and personal trainers that I work around the world do a good, strong needs analysis. It's 80 to 90% of the sales process. So, first thing is, little chit chat, smile, get some commonality. Please don't create massive, great friends with people. That's old school. You've got to get respect and you've just got to make sure there's enough rapport. You've got to make sure you also ask for at least 3 outcomes they're looking for. Gone are the days of asking for one. What's your main priority? Ba-bong. No. Number 1, number 2, number 3, back to 1. What's your number 1 priority, Steve? Oh, I want to put some size on. Oh, we specialize in doing that. What's the second? Oh, I like a bit of definition too. Okay, we can put that into the nutrition. What else? Oh, you know, I'd like to be able to space thought again. All right, well, if we get some strength, make sure we'll dovetail that together, but we can certainly work that. But let's come back down to your building. So now you have 3 reasons to come and work with you. Never have one. One, old school. Now, there's another thing I'm going to show you very quickly. It's called the 3 most important strategy. It's a new process we put in it about 2 years ago, and it's going up. We've actually refined it even more so just before COVID, and it's making a massive difference. You know about your USPs. Some of you have got 2, some of you have got 5. Make sure you differentiate them. So let me show you how this works. On all needs analysis, you have the result that you want to achieve. Now, one of the things I like to add to the needs analysis, we've just got 16 sites trialing it now, is where say what results would you like to achieve, / and make some changes. Change is a neural order process which triggers a response. Then we use a process which needs to be in writing on your needs analysis. We call it the 4 Ws. I see some of you there we already work with, which is terrific, but make sure it's written down. What's your priority? Number 1, number 2, maybe number 3, back to 1. Where are the areas in particular you're not happy with, especially in their physique? And if it's actually a result, what are 3 things that you're not happy with? It could be their running. What's wrong with them? What don't you like? What are you uncomfortable? Please don't ask them what they want to improve. You've got to find out what they're not happy with. Find out their pain levels. Number 1 motivator in human behavior is to avoid a pain. How long is it going on for? And then always get the when. Now, how do we do that? Well, we do this on our needs analysis. And when we do that, we then go through a thing called a big how. How good is it going to be when you fix the problem? And very casually, tongue-in-cheek, what's going to happen if you do nothing and everything stays the same? What's the ramifications of that, John? This needs to be a conversation. Now, the good news is by coming to the club, working with as a trainer, coming to the studio, you'll be well on the way of making sure we do this. We're experts in helping people do that. Are you looking forward to not losing the weight, going on the holiday and feeling better? Now, that process needs to be learned. It can't be learned overnight. And as I said before, It's a flow. This is something that has been lost. Now, guess what we've done? We've made it easier to do. We've made it smaller. It takes about 3 to 4 minutes. Boom. There's your W's. Bang. Whether it's a club or studio, doesn't matter. It's that size, very small. And then what we do is we always recommend now you pre-fill in a needs analysis before they turn up. Please write that down. Fill it in before they show. Fill it in before they show. If you talk to them on the phone, you must have it filled in. Right, Brad, when's it going to be? Blah, 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 whatever it may be. Fill in what you can. You might not know their age. You might not know their address, but fill in what you can. Now, this is important because it shortens your sales cycle. If they want to play football, they want to firm up, increase, tick a few boxes, because when you give this to Grant to fill in, he'll say, oh, there's my name on it. He'll own it. Shortens the cycle, makes it faster. I cannot tell you how important this is. Now, once you've gone through the questions, as I said, I'm sure many of you do this anyway, but this is something that's different. We need to do your big how. How good is it going to be when it's done? What's the ramification if it doesn't? Don't worry, I'm an expert. Looking forward to being in first grade, celebrating a grand final win, not starting training. They're not. Okay, let's keep going. Now, the big thing at the end here, and I love it. Once you've gone through your needs analysis, say, look, what are the 3 most important things that must happen for you right now as far as your health and wellness is concerned? What are the 3 most important things that you want to make sure happens? I want this, I want that, I want that. Got it. That is telling you what do you got to prove. So after you've done your needs analysis, stop. Right. Got it all right, you recap it. So, all right, Steve, I got all that done. So what's the 3 most important things that must happen? I've got to fit into my jeans. I've got to have a 6-pack when I go to Ibiza. And, oh yeah, I want to run the city dessert or the coast to coast or the whatever. Got it. That order? Let's make it happen. You stop. What are the 3 most important things that must happen? How easy is that? So what we're doing here is to make it easy for the person to engage with you. All right, let's keep going. All right. On fire here. I think we're bang on time too, which is good to see. So the 3 most important strategies is something you're going to do when you're doing your needs. Now, the next thing that I want to do is creating an experience. The last couple of things I'm going to cover with you today in the last 15 minutes or so is experience is what sells. If you're a personal trainer or a health club or a studio, you've got to present something that creates an experience. And we do a whole day's training and some. And we just did it in our Sales Authority Club last quarter when we did our quarterly training. We had a full day and we taught people how to create an experience. You need to know what experience you want to create with someone. You've got to use their story, similar situations. If you've been overweight and you are doing weight loss, you show them your picture, not someone else's. Much more powerful. If you're not, obviously that's irrelevant. Making sure you show them facts and make sure they say, wow, I believe you. And the big thing here is you will never close anybody for a high ticket item or even a cheaper item if they don't trust you. Authenticity is critical. Being believable. Being believable, not a salesperson. Being someone that genuinely cares, that wants to help somebody. And that comes from practicing your presentation. This doesn't happen automatically. I'm giving you lots of little things today because I want you to really get it, that these small nuances that we're talking about need to be practiced. PDR, we call it. What experience are you going to give them? Because you can only, please write this down, you can only move at the speed of trust. You can only move forward at the speed of trust. Whether paying $20, $25, $65, $79, $129, I don't care. But they don't trust you, you go on. So you've got to have a thing called proofing. Back in the old days, we used to do trials and so forth, and trials this, and we then used to do a tour. we changed it. And this is something that has changed. And as I said, we do a long training on it, but I'm going to give you a Reader's Digest version. I wonder if they still make Reader's Digest, a short version. All right, here we go. Goody gumdrops. Here we go. Now, proofing. It's called proofing. You've got to teach them something, but you've got to prove two things are true. Please write that down. When you show them how you're going to help them, you've got to prove it's true. In other words, a testimonial, something that's not just noise. Don't just talk, prove that it works. Oh, we'll lose the weight. Well, how do I know you've lost the weight in the past? It's just noise. This treadmill will help you lose weight. Are you serious? I don't know how that's going to work. Treadmills don't lose weight. People running on them and eating well and making sure they're trained regularly. Let me show you a client that does this twice a week and so forth. Her name's Delilah. This before, this or after. Oh my goodness. You might even have videos. And Delilah says, I go on the treadmill twice a week with Steve, rah, rah, rah. Oh, proof. Richard was talking about video. Video is critical. And it's so easy to do on your little happy phone. Get the video testimonial. We do a little workshop on how to actually ask them the questions to do a little video. If you do this proofing, instead of touring or doing a trial, just prove what you said is true. You'll shorten the sales cycle and they will want to buy, become a member, become a client. They want you. You don't have to sell a thing. What does people do? They go through this sales thing and they try to close a sale. Serious? The close a sale is a symptom of doing a great job of the things I'm showing you. You'll get less pushback if you prove things. Two things. Two. Okay? Just going to get you to get that down. I'm going to get you to type in the number 2 into the chat box and write it down. Type in 2. This is a big rock for today. I want you to type in 2. I want all of you. We got 30 odd people on there. I want all of you to type in 2. Whether you haven't got a pen, I want you all to write in 2. It's 2 things that you prove that are true. Proof. Oh, come on. Well, you've got 6 in there, 7 in there. Come on. We've got 30 plus people. I want 30 in there. 2. It's easy peasy. It's just one little push of the button. Give me a 2. Give me a 2. Come on. Good on you, Richard, mate. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, Karen. Leo, Jaden, you're all legends. You guys are on fire. Peter, thanks, Tash. Hannah, Hansa, that's terrific. Erin, hello, Erin. And there's Lauren, Michelin, Brandon, Celeste, that's great. Thanks, Crystal, Tanya, Aiden, you're a ledge. Thanks, guys. Is that Rita? Terrific. And Christopher, thank you. All right, now, 2 things that are true. Why did I get you to do that? I wanted to be in here. I don't want you to do a tour, an explanation, a trial, and not proving what you've said is true. Don't say, it's true, I promise. That is so 101 and old school, and it's embarrassing. So many salespeople in our industry are noisy and they do not inspire. 2 things that are true. Now, this might take a bit of work. You might need to get some before and after photographs. It instills confidence in the person. Now, remember, prove what you said is true, and they can say, I can do that. If you're going to do a trial, show them that they can do it. They might be scared. I can't do that. This is easy. I can do it. Then you get them to do it. Get them to touch it. Get to feel it and say, wow, I can do that. But always when you have a trial, please write this down. It's not in the notes. Please write this down. Any trial that you do, guys and girls, if you're in personal training in particular, even personal yoga and so forth, always do the training with at least 50% of the exercises that they need you for, or at least part of the consultation when you have your nutritional conversation. Do not just say, I'm going to show you and leave you. It's called personal training. 2 things that are true, and we're good to go. All right, let's rock and roll. So we've got the 2. It's called proofing, no longer touring. It's no longer demonstration. It's called proofing. If it's a trial, great, trial with proofing. You're going to prove. It needs to be tangible. Before and after shots, easy peasy. This is my client. This was me. Easy to do? Yeah, of course it is. but will you do it? It's the big rock. So before we go to the close, I'm going to do a wrap up on our closing, how it's changed. You've got to always test the temperature. We haven't got time for it today, but you always need to test the temperature to make sure, have you seen everything you're looking for? And you're satisfied with the proof. Can you see how we're going to do that? Are you satisfied that, you know, I've proven to you that we've got the results, we're experts at it? Just conversation. Are you satisfied that we can get the weight off? Yes, because you've just proved that you've done it before. Yeah. Is that an easy question? Yeah. Learn it. Learn it. Okay. Last few things. As I said, I can't show all the bits and pieces. And remember, I'm going to give you a gift at the end. You can do a direct link straight to me or Darren. He's a superstar, comes to New Zealand regularly, works with clubs and studios, personal trainers. And we're also going to do the webinars, but we're going to give you that gift. Now, this is called a timeline presentation. You can do it on iPad. I'd just do it on a piece of paper if I was you, but anyway, it's up to you. If you want someone to be training for you for a period of time, do not show them just your prices and just give them no journey. We have a journey process of 4 stages. We say, okay, Bob, you always put Bob's name at the top there, 20 to 21, moving towards the right. We then go through a stage model. This is where you get to know each other and you get to learn your program, know what you're doing with me, what you're doing your own, get your nutrition sorted out. It's going to take this period of time. Then we go to this stage, start seeing some changes. Others will say, geez, you're looking big. Look, you got a 6-pack, or geez, you lost weight. Yeah, baggy jeans, new jeans. People laugh. Result stage, you achieve a lot of results and you can start going to your football. Then we get to here. Then you ask them, where do you want me to take you? Let me show you how it looks. Boom. What's the stage called? Blah, 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 blah. Period of time. 20 to 30 days, I would recommend. Then we go, oh, that's me. That's me. That's me working with you every week, twice a week, whatever it is. Half an hour, once a week. I want 80 clients once a week would be better than having one client doing 80 a week. Go on holidays, you got no money. Boom. Next stage. Blah, 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 blah. We continue along our merry way. We get to the next stage, only a period of time. Hey, we're going to get to here. We've got great results. By the way, once we get here, how long are you wanting to keep those types of results? Slim, strong, powerful, forever. Okay. That's why we have the maintenance stage. Circle it, scribble out that stage. Where do you want me to get you? Here, here, or here? They always say here. Let's do it. Okay. I've got 10 minutes to show to close. It's called a timeline. How long does it take? 5 minutes, max. But you know what people do? They chatter, and they think that's going to convince them. They got no proofing. They got an ordinary presentation, and then they just say, it's $80 a week. Are you serious? 80? Should be 85. You're experts. You know what to do. Okay, let's show you how to close. Here we go. I believe, look, for many years, we designed a number of different closes. The fitness industry, when I was around, some of you weren't even born. We opened the first health clubs in Australia. Then we opened a large chain, went overseas, and we then opened Impact Training Corporation. And we went all around the world showing them how to do the good stuff. One of the things we created many, many years ago was the T-graph. On a personal trainer, you'd always put it at the top. You always put your rate there. If you've got a secondary spend, you'd always put it at the bottom. It's called top, bottom, left, right. Say that out loud. I know I can't hear, but say top, bottom, left, right. Say it out loud. Top, bottom, left, right. One more time for good measure. I can't hear. I'm always in Australia. Top, bottom, left, right. Now, if you said it out loud, it's created a neural pathway. This is how you present prices. Top, bottom, left, right, if you have a secondary spend. Now, you can say, you could have your rate here, but you know what? I would always present my secondary spend first. You got a weight loss program, that's 127, that's 395. That's going to kickstart. And then goes the rate. Some people do the rate and then they say the secondary spend. Your call, I would always go secondary spend first. Then you don't say, right, there's 2 ways to do it. Always ways, not options. Never say the word options, always say ways. Amount, alternatively, another way, and an amount. Now that would be to get started. This would be your hourly rate, half-hour rate. This would be what they would pay to start. Now this might go for 12 weeks. This goes for 6 months. This might be $1.99 to start to get 1, 2, and 3. Alternatively, you do your lifestyle, which is for 6 months, or I would usually say the weeks, 26 weeks. And that's, let's say that's free to start. And you circle the name, never the amount of money. So you've got your rate here that doesn't change. I would never discount your hourly rate, a half-hour rate. It stays the same. You then go from, this is how much it's to start from a short-term program. You might call it results or quick fix. That's 12 weeks. And that's $1.99. And you get this. Alternatively, you've got this one. It's the lifestyle for a bit more like you, Steve. That goes for 6 months and longer. The good news is only $1 to start or nothing, or it's $20. And you still get the extras. This is what I would recommend. Now you can do this on an iPad. Do the secondary spend first. Or you use a tariff. Now, where am I going with time? I'll probably go a couple of minutes over. Sorry, Nathan. This is gold. Tariff closes is something that we've introduced about just on a year a bit ago. It's become very easy. You don't have to remember anything. You just use the sequence. It's gold. Now, I've done a personal training one. I've noticed a few clubs on here today, but I was told it's more trainers type stuff, but it's the same. It's the same. Okay, good. Now, you'll stay with me 2 or 3 more minutes. Is that all right? You just give me a yes, all right? So I can show you how to do this. Just give me a yes. Are we all good? Okay. Thanks, Richard. Thanks, terrific. All right. Good. I'm trying to get as much as I can, but not talking like a chickmunk. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Leo. Thanks, Christopher. All right. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. This is how I do tariff close. Here it is. Tariffing. You've got this as on your iPad, or you have it just in a laminate. Now, this is for personal trainer. We have lots of different stuff that we create. So they say, this is how we begin losing the weight, get you bigger and stronger so you're ready for Ibiza, Steve. This is the beginning. This is exciting. We call it focus. Oh, yes. Now, the good news is you go to the bottom. Yes, we go straight to the bottom. Bang, for the secondary spend. Your nutrition program, your addition to this, or whatever the extra is, you put it at the bottom. Okay. And it's already pre-written. Now, I put a line there because you wouldn't pre-write the secondary spend because you might have 3 or 4. So you have to write it on there. So it would be on a laminate. You just have it on a texter. And if it's not, you would just say it out loud as an auditory cue. Then you say, okay, a couple of ways to do this. The first ways are called our results. That's $99 to start, get your program and so forth. That just goes for 12 weeks. Like I said earlier, alternatively with a line, and then we put a circle. This is the best value, Steve. This is lifestyle. It's nothing to start. You get all the extras. It just goes for 6 months. And that would be what I'd recommend if you want to get back into first grade. That's called a prescriptive close. Not hard, hey? You know how people balk at closing? A tariff close is a piece of cake. You read it. This is the beginning to get you ready for whatever it is. You're going to be excited. We call it focus. I've just made this created for you guys today. You have your rate there. Let me just tell you your XYZ nutrition program, your preliminary, whatever it may be, is this, it costs that. Okay, 2 ways to do it. We call it results for people that quick fix or whatever you like to call it. It just goes for 12 weeks. $99 to start, blah, blah, blah. Alternatively, and you have a little arrow, we have the lifestyle. The good news is nothing to start, but it does go, it's just for 6 months more for someone like you, or 12 months, whatever. That's what I'd recommend to get you back into first grade. Looking forward to doing first grade? Yep. Okay, let's get that happening. Close on first grade. I'd always use a pen. Now you can also do it on PowerPoint if you want to, all good to go. Now, there are different ways to close. I believe in this day and age, we have evolved from just the alternative choice. What one would you like, A or B? Now, that's fine. That's fine. But I think the prescriptive close from an expert's point of view, especially in personal training and in studio type environment, I think prescription, because they perceive you as an expert, is the best way of going. From my experience, this is what you need. See, they want advice, and if they don't want to do that, they can always say, oh, no, I'll do the other one. Now, if you've done all this is right, you could maybe do an assumptive close. Steve, I know you want to get in first grade. I know it's in September. Ha, you're doing lifestyle. Let's do this, and let's get back into first grade. Let's rock and roll. That's the assumptive type of close. Or alternatively, you could just use the choice close like a lot of people do. Now, prescriptive close is from my experience. This is from what I need. You're a personal trainer, aren't you? You're a yogi master. You're an expert in the health club. You don't know your stuff. From my experience, is what not. I don't want to make a sale. I want to help you. Now, you're going to do the right thing by the person. I'm going to go live in England in 4 months' time. You should do 12 months. They want to poke you in the eye. Listen. Prescriptive close, I think, is the way to go in our industry, and assumptive close if you've got lots of rapport. Alternative choice is always a good stopgap to come back. Now, guys, I've gone over a couple of minutes, but I do want to make sure that I'm going to get you to do some stuff. I'm going to get you to type in the chat box how many total things you're going to action in the next week. And I want to make sure that you're going to get your little gift from me. I'm going to give you a little gift. I'm going to give you a couple little links. I'll stop sharing my screen at the moment. I'm going to give you a couple of links. One is to just go through and just go into a sales growth plan. And that's easy peasy. That goes through and reviews what we've done now, and you just type in a few things, and we're going to set up a Zoom for you. Either be me or Darren, or probably me or Darren, I would suggest. And we'll go through and help you implement some of these things. It's completely free, isn't it? I'm just going to put it in the chat box there. There you go. There you go. The bottom one is a direct calendar link to me. I don't normally give it to everybody, but if you want to click it into my diary, that will go straight into the processes. All right. You've got 12 action points. Outstanding, Peter. Terrific. Okay. All right. And yeah, okay. Thanks, Nathan. Now, guys, what's your action points? Love it. USPs, close experiences. Good. Yep. Sales. Want to make sure we got, what are your action points before we rock and roll? I want to see what your action points are, because I cover a lot of stuff, but I want to have action activity. I want to make sure that you have a really successful rest of the year. I want to shorten your sales cycle, make it easy for you to buy. I want to make sure you maximize your income so your business can grow. You can have the freedom that a great business can give you. All right, 10. You're going to be busy, chappy. Well done, Aaron. Well done, Aaron. You're a ledge. Well done. Come on, guys and girls. Who else? Type in what you're going to do. How many or what you're going to do. That would be good to see. Definitely got a lot of notes to go over. About 10. Terrific, Brandon. Terrific. Now, I want to say a big thank you to Nathan for organizing all this. Absolutely outstanding. I mean, he's just on the money and everything. It's up at the wee hours of the morning. He's a workaholic like Richard. There's so much that Exercise New Zealand does for all of its members. It's really at the head of the game in most of the organizations globally. So touche. And Richard, thanks for all your support with the IT Impact Training and the National Sales Academy. And we're very proud to be associated and partners with you. And by the way, you might get a call from Darren. He's going to go through and make sure that you've got all your bits. But well, let's see if you want to get that sales growth plan. You've got 8 from now from your notes. Good. Oh, good. Thank you, Aaron. That's really kind of you. It's always good to get some good feedback. I'm glad you found it was good. Aiden, you got 7 or 8? Okay. Got to buy new pens. Oh, you're a crack up. Oh, dear me. I've got 8 there. All right. Oh, thank you. My pleasure. Lauren. It's great. And so Richard's stuff is just so good too. It's so rich in content. And make sure you book him with a marketing muscle up with the great man. His team are terrific. Oh, terrific! It's my pleasure, Crystal. Just want to make sure we got as much in that short period of time. And well done to you guys. Thanks for joining in on a Saturday. You're so committed. And remember, book in for that little that direct link if you want. As I said, all good to go. Terrific, Tash. I'm so glad you're ready to rock and roll. You know what would make me really happy? If I hear about some of the stuff you've implemented. That would be awesome, and at the end of the day, I really love hearing about your success. Our industry is the best industry in the world. We're doing it since I was a little puppy. There was never a health club around when I was around. When we first opened the first one, and who would have thought it would have been this amazing industry we have right now? All right. Terrific. Well, thank you, Hannah. That's really lovely. It makes my day. We made a bit of a difference. So thank you again to Nathan and also to Richard. And Richard Tatunzi, he got up at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning doing his awesome presentation. Make sure you take some action on the lead gen, and then we can do the dovetailing and putting our prices up with more people. My pleasure.
Thank you very much, Steve, on behalf of everybody who's here today. And just so all the attendees know, if you missed out either Richard's session at the start or came in partway through, the recordings will be up online this afternoon, so you can watch them. And we also plan on sharing links both from Steve and Richard, and we'll do that on Monday when we're back in the office. Thank you again. Thanks, Steve.
Pleasure. My pleasure, mate.